Welcome to ancient Earth, where every fossil tells a story. And every bone holds a whisper from the deep past. Imagine a river system so vast it dwarfs the Amazon, teeming with life that defies your imagination. The air is thick, humid, and heavy with the scent of damp earth and giant ferns. Suddenly, the surface of the murky water breaks. Silently, a terrifying 6-foot sail emerged, slicing water like a nightmare film. Ever wonder what it truly felt like to stand in the shadow of a living giant? Today, you might just find out. Please like and subscribe, but only if you find our journey truly valuable. Share where you are watching from and which prehistoric creature fascinates you most. Now, let's journey back in time and uncover the story of a lost world. You stand on an ancient riverbank 100 million years ago in future North African deserts. Underfoot, the soft, muddy floodplain stretches to the horizon, where you finally see it. The largest carnivorous dinosaur ever known, but the strange thing is, it doesn't seem to see you. It doesn't care about you. Its gaze is fixed on the water. Humans will unearth its bones and name it Spinosaurus Aegyptiacus, the spine lizard from Egypt. Welcome to ancient Earth, where every fossil tells a story.
هل وجدت شيئا يا دكتور؟
Ja. Unglaublich. Wir müssen es sichern.
Towering, rod-like spines from a creature's back, and a long, slender jaw. He knew he had found something extraordinary, something that broke the mold. Obsessed with giants like T-Rex, scientists were not ready for a fish-hunting, lizard-eating theropod. You watch it move. It's not the lumbering, tail-dragging monster of old films. It's something else entirely, something new. The story of this animal isn't just one of size. It's a story of mystery, loss, and incredible rediscovery. The original fossils, which gave it its name, were destroyed in a World War II bombing.
Spinosaurus aegyptiacus, known only from fragmentary remains discovered in the early 20th century. The original fossils were tragically lost during the war.
All we had were the original drawings, a ghost of a giant. But the river never forgets. Hidden beneath the sand, new secrets were waiting to be found. Ready to challenge everything we thought we knew. But those don't stay buried forever, especially not ones this large. In the 21st century, new bones began to surface from the same ancient Moroccan riverbeds. And with them, the ghost of Spinosaurus began to take shape. As you stand there on that muddy bank, the creature before you is no longer a phantom. It is a mosaic of bizarre features, an animal that seems assembled by a committee. Your eyes are drawn to its head. This is no T-Rex. Forget the box-like skull. This long, narrow skull looks startlingly like that of a crocodile. It's an immediate clue. This animal wasn't hunting on the plains. At the end of that long snout, you can see small pits, tiny openings in the bone. You realize they resemble crocodile snout sensors, detecting the faintest pressure changes in water. This giant could hunt with its eyes closed, sensing the splash of a fish yards away. You watch it open its jaws. There are no stick knives in there. Its teeth are conical, smooth, and sharp, perfect interlocking spikes. They weren't designed for searing flesh from bone, but for one thing, gripping. They are the ultimate fish trap. Once a giant coelacanth or a sawfish was caught in that grip, there was no escape. Then you finally look up the sail. It's impossible to ignore. This 6-foot structure is not defensive spines, but a framework of webbed, bony rods. It's a biological billboard. What could it be for? Imagine two giants meeting. Sails make them look impossibly large, a warning to rivals. Maybe it was fleshed with color, a stunning mating display like a giant peacock tail. Perhaps a giant radiator, soaking morning sun to warm its massive body before hunting prey. Its arms, too, defy the theropod standard. They are not the tiny, vestigial limbs of its famous tyrant cousin. They are long, powerful, and tipped with 3-fingered hands. The inner thumb claw is a huge, curved talon. You can see it flexing, a vicious gaff hook ready to snag any fish that slipped past its jaws. This creature breaks all the rules. It's a bizarre mix of hunter, herring, and crocodile, forcing us to rethink what a carnivorous dinosaur could even be. You force your gaze away from the creature itself and take in the world it lives in. This is its kingdom. "100 million years ago, this part of North Africa is not the parched desert you know. It is a super swamp, a vast network of freshwater rivers. Mangrove-lined estuaries and muddy floodplains stretching for hundreds of miles. You feel the air, thick and tropical, sticking to your skin. The humidity is almost a liquid, and there are smells of wet earth, rotting vegetation. This is the mid-Cretaceous, and the plant life is a mix of the familiar and the alien. Giant ferns, some as tall as trees, crowd the banks. Towering conifers, ancestors to modern pines, reach for a sky that is often gray with humidity. There are no flowers here to brighten the landscape. This is a world of endless green and brown. You listen, the world is not quiet. Insects drone with a rhythmic pulse. In the distance, you hear the low-frequency rumble of something immense, a herd of sauropods. Perhaps Paralidotine, the tidal giant, moving through the swamps. They are so large they look like walking islands. Overhead, pterosaurs with spear-like snouts glide on the thorns, scanning the water below. But the real life of this kingdom is in the water. You peer into the murky river and see a shadow move. Then another. The river is choked with giants. There are coelacanths the size of a small car, their armored scales a dull blue. You see Onchopristis, a terrifying sawfish with a 3-foot rostrum studded with razor-sharp teeth. This is not a barren swamp. It's a 24-hour buffet, and Spinosaurus is sitting at the head table. This abundance is the key to understanding this place. It's what allows so many giants to live in one ecosystem. Because Spinosaurus isn't the only massive carnivore here, on the floodplains, stalking the sauropods, is another apex predator, Carcharodontosaurus, the sharp-toothed lizard. It's a more traditional killer, a land-based terror with blade-like teeth. You realize this river kingdom is a land of 2 separate thrones? The shark-tooth rules the land, and the spine lizard rules the water. This environment forced Spinosaurus to evolve into something so specialized, so strange. It didn't just live near the river was its entire life. The giant creature before you is now perfectly still. It hasn't moved for several minutes. Its long snout held just above the water's surface. You are witnessing the patience of an ambushed predator. A stillness that feels more like a crocodile's than a dinosaur's. It isn't roaring or rampaging. It is simply waiting. Its world is reduced to the vibration of the current and the scent of the water. Tiny pits on its snout quiver, reading the river's story with acute sensory precision. Suddenly, its head darts down, plunging into the brown water with a speed that defies its size. The water explodes in a white spray, and the Spinosaurus rears back. Interlocking teeth trap a massive Onchopristis, the 8-foot sawfish lashing its rostrum in desperate panic. It's no use. The cortical teeth are a perfect trap. Before the fish can even be swallowed, the dinosaur's massive, sickle-clawed hand plunges into the water, gaffing the struggling prey and securing the meal. This is the evidence that rewrote the textbooks. You're not just watching a dinosaur that likes to fish. You are watching the first truly semi-aquatic dinosaur. How do we know? You glance at its back legs. They are short, surprisingly so for a creature this long. And its feet are wide and flat, almost like paddles. These aren't runner legs. They are paddler legs, perfect for wading or propelling through water. But clumsy and slow on solid ground. And then, as it wades deeper to finish its meal, you see its most profound secret, its tail. Recent fossil finds have shown that its tail was not the stiff, balancing rod of a T-Rex. It was deep, tall, and fin-like, a tadpole tail built for powerful, side-to-side propulsion. You watch it swish, and the power is undeniable. This tail is a motor, an engine for chasing down the river's largest prey in their own element. Even its bones tell the story, unlike other theropods, whose bones were hollow like a bird's to save weight. Spinosaurus had dense, solid bones, much like a modern-day hippopotamus or a penguin. Not a flaw, heavy bones provided ballast, allowing the giant to submerge and control buoyancy. To hang motionless in the water, waiting for the unwary. It was a dinosaur that had truly abandoned the land, at least in part, to become a river monster. River mastery has made Spinosaurus the subject of intense, often passionate scientific debate. As you watch it wade, you are privy to a creature at the center of a scientific revolution. The biggest question surrounding it is not just what it ate, but how it moved. Hollywood often shows its cousins, the land-based giants, as slow, heavy-footed brutes. But Spinosaurus is different, with its short legs, long body, and that immense, heavy tail. Scientists still argue about its stance on land. Could it walk upright on two legs like its famous relatives? Or was it an obligate quadruped, forced to knuckle walk on its powerful forearms? When traversing the muddy banks, the truth is likely somewhere in between, a very awkward land traveler that preferred to stay in hip-deep water, where the buoyancy could support its colossal frame. Then there is the cell. It's a structure that begs for explanation. If it wasn't a radiator or a signal, what else could it be? The debate rages. Maybe it wasn't a cell at all, but a muscular hub. A fat store, like a camel's, helping it survive long droughts in a fluctuating climate. Recovered fine, rod-like spine suggests a tight membranous skin, not a fleshy mound. Imagine the sheer scale of that display. It would have made a charging rival pause. A potent statement of dominance without a fight. And what about its metabolism? Was this giant cold-blooded? Sluggishly relying on the sun to fuel its movements like a modern reptile? Or was it warm-blooded, capable of sustained, high-energy activity? The heavy, compact bones suggest a slower, more deliberate lifestyle than the actively pursuing tyrannosaurs. Its life was less about a short burst of speed and more about strategic patience. And the crushing power of the initial strike. The sheer energy needed to sustain the size suggests a purely cold-blooded existence is unlikely. Probably a mesotherm, its warmth allowed it to remain an active hunter in murky depths. This creature forces us to confront our assumptions about dinosaur behavior. There's no evidence for social structures or parental care yet. Its specialized hunting suggests a solitary, efficient predator, relying on stealth rather than pack tactics. Every fossil discovery, every new bone pulled from the ground, forces a dramatic correction, a new chapter in the story. Witness a living challenge to everything we thought we knew about the age of reptiles. The sheer size of the Spinosaurus is staggering. ... It routinely exceeded 50 feet in length, easily surpassing even the largest T-Rex specimens. Yet, as you observe it now, dominating the water, you realize its victory in the size race is an evolutionary compromise. It became the largest by carving a unique niche, distinct from other massive animals. This is the heart of the evolutionary arms race in the Cretaceous. Nearby, it faced fierce competition from Carcharodontosaurus and other gigantic terrestrial predators on the plains. They battled armored titanosaurs, using massive jaws and serrated teeth for devastating shearing wounds. Their life was one of bone-crushing power and speed over short distances. Now look at the Spinosaurus again. Its delicate, conical teeth and long snout would have snapped like a twig against the thick bone of a sword. It wisely chose not to compete on the land. Instead, Spinosaurus owned the river. Its prey was not thick-skinned dinosaurs, but giant fish and aquatic reptiles. The abundant river systems provided a constant, high-protein food source. That was less dangerous to catch and exploit. This strategy is why its lineage survived and grew so large. By specializing, it avoided direct, fatal conflict with its land-based rivals. It was a king, but its throne was built upon the water. Specialization meant it wasn't always the apex predator. Occasionally, the tables would turn. Fossil evidence, including the healed bite marks found on the bones of smaller Spinosaurus individuals. Young, sick, or even adult animals were occasionally ambushed by land giants like Carcharodontosaurus when they strayed too far from the safety of the water. This provides a sobering reality check. Even the largest carnivore on Earth wasn't immune to attack. Young, sick, or even adult animals were occasionally ambushed by land giants like Carcharodontosaurus. The massive cell catching the humid air. Its power is fluid, aquatic. It isn't built for a clumsy, roaring battle on land, but for a silent, lethal ambush in the murk. Perfectly adapted to its environment, it evolved to a size unmatched by any carnivore. It reveals how crowded ecosystem pressures force life to become both bizarre and beautiful. Carving out a specialized existence where others rely on brute force. The creature turns and slides back into the deep water. And as the ripple said, you realize you have witnessed not just a dinosaur, but a historical enigma.
Hier entlang. Wir haben etwas Bedeutendes gefunden.
نعم سيدي. نعالج المزيد من الفرقة هنا.
They were majestic, yet incomplete, giving the world a tantalizing glimpse of a giant unlike any other. Those precious fossils, the original type specimen, were housed in a museum in Munich, Germany. And as you learned, they were tragically destroyed during an Allied bombing raid in 1944. Spinosaurus was wiped off the map again, surviving only in rough sketches and scientific notes. For half a century, it was a footnote, its legend inflated by the simple fact that it was gone. Paleontologists treated it almost as a myth. Then, in the early 2000s, new expeditions began to unearth tantalizing clues from the ancient Kem fossil beds. Fragmentary remains confirmed the bizarre features and staggering size. It was a slow, agonizing process, like putting together a puzzle with half the pieces missing. Then came the true breakthrough, discovering complete skeletons with short legs and dense bones. And most recently, the revolutionary pattern detail. These finds didn't just fill blanks, they forced science to completely redraw every single Spinosaurus. Its aggressive, land-based Hollywood portrayal, cemented in pop culture, was revealed as fundamentally wrong. Hollywood got the size right, but reduced it to a generic, slow terrestrial brute. The reality is incredible. A dynamic semi-aquatic marvel, a river navigator honed by evolution. This creature's legacy is its profound contribution to the dinosaur renaissance. It forced paleontologists to abandon the assumption that all theropods followed the same predatory template. Evolution drove a giant predator back to the water, fundamentally altering its body plan. Spinosaurus is a testament to the power of continuous discovery. It shows us that even the most famous giants of the past still hold revolutionary secrets, waiting for the next shovelful of sand to reveal the true, incredible story. Now, take one last, deep breath of that humid, Cretaceous air. The ground is silent once more. The giant has melted back into the murky flow of time. And the river continues its ancient and changing journey. Leaving this extreme world, let the scale sink in. A dinosaur that defied categorization. A world lost and found again through fragments of bone, and a story written and rewritten by science. The past isn't just a collection of static facts. It's a living, breathing mystery. Constantly evolving as we learn to better read the whispers captured in the rock. Spinosaurus reminds us that reading the first chapter doesn't reveal how the book ends. There are always new giants waiting to be discovered. Ready to reshape our understanding of what life can be.